Alright friends, welcome back to another reaction video. Today we're going to be doing the Unkillable Soldier from Sabaton. Now, the subject of this song, his name is Adrien Carton De Wiart. He was actually Belgian, but he was also Irish. He was born to a Belgian parent and an Irish parent. He was also said to be the bastard son of King Leopold II. Now, already he has a very interesting story. Before we get into that, let me just remind you all, thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoy the video. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. We're getting so close to that 500 number, and every day we get closer and closer and closer, and at that point this channel will be monetized, and I'll probably start doing this full-time more. But also, if you're returning, as always, please like, share, and comment, and let's get into it. So, Adrien Carton De Wiart was Belgian, but he also was English. He actually identified more with his English roots than he did with his Belgian or Irish. He himself would actually serve. He was an aristocrat, but he wanted to see the world. So he served in the Second Boer War to start. His father, I believe, wanted him to be a lawyer or something of the sort. So today we're going to be watching a music video about him, and it's just going to explain how crazy this guy was. And I'm not saying crazy as an insult. He was wild. I believe he ended, let me check real quick. I believe he ended as a general his career. Yes, he was a general during World War II. The man was legendary. So today we're going to be watching the Sabaton song, The Unkillable Soldier. Friends, so we are watching, usually I do the official, I don't do the official music videos. This video actually has clips from the official music video from Sabaton. It's actually funny because they have, De Wiart is being played by another history YouTuber, Indian Idol. Great channel. You learn so much from him. He's actually one of the best channels out there. I'll be honest. I will leave a link in this video to his channel. Also, as always, a link to the content creator of this video. As always, I don't make money from these. These are Sabaton's, and just like the person who made the video, they're not even really making money from it because the music and even the part of the video are Sabaton's. So they're really, this is more just for us all to learn together. But this is The Unkillable Soldier. Here we go. There's Indy. So, a lot of there is just talking about this very militaristic set mind. Now, you need to understand, he was born in the era of heroism and romanticism of war. You know, World War I is the end of that. You know, here in the United States, it's a little different. Our romanticism ended with the American Civil War because of the use of photographs. Because you would have these gentlemen who were going around the battlefields taking pictures of the dead and stuff. You know, famously, pictures of Gettysburg at the Devil's Den and the fields of the Triangular Field and such, showing all the dead. Europe, yes, they saw that happening, but they still had this sense of romanticism. And De Wiart himself was a child of that romanticism. You know, he's born in Belgium to English parents, which really were Irish, but you know, he grew up his entire life wanting to be a soldier. His family was against it. You know, he went to India to become a lawyer. He didn't really become a lawyer. He went and joined the British Army in Africa, and then he came back to Europe, and he fought in the trenches. And we had some of the battles he fought and listed so far. This is Indian Idol. Again, great YouTuber. I think it's hysterical that he's playing him, but let's keep going. So, ignoring the wounds that he got, De Wiart got wounded. Oh my god, I need to. I don't even know. I'll have to find out for the end. But he was wounded many times, like many, like he he lost part of his hand, and they said you're not going to be able to fight again. And he said, I disagree. And they're like, no, your hand's done. And they were like, he's like, and they're like, sir, your hand is done. He actually cut his own hand off and then went back to the fighting. Like, you see, he lost his eye in the war and everything. He was wounded. Oh, here we go. He was shot in the face, head, stomach, ankle, leg, hip, ear, blinded in left eye, survived 2 plane crashes, tunneled out of a prisoner of war camp, and tore off his own fingers when a doctor declined to amputate them. He was a man, when you hear dedicated to king and country, he was dedicated to king and country, and he refused to give up. And that's why you see when he's shooting the pistol, he's using his chest to cock it, because he didn't have functionality in one of his hands. Of course, we got our good old Sabaton guitar solo. We're gonna stop right there. You know, I just gotta say, when you really look at World War One and you really look at the style of fighting, it is insane. Can you imagine just being a young man? You know, you think you have your whole life ahead of you, and then you run out, like, just the way they would collapse. You know, there's a story about during the American Civil War at Cold Harbor, when the Union lines were advancing towards the Confederates. They said the men fell in line. Like, they literally, as they got shot, they collapsed in formation. That's literally what World War One is. You see these insane, like, these massive wave attacks, and you're seeing at least a few hundred guys knocked out just in the initial charge. The amount of nerve and bravery it had to take to be like that, like, it's honestly horrifying to really think about the idea that these guys were charging literally knowingly, because, you know, by the time they're wearing these helmets, the Tommy helmets, that's late war. These guys have been doing this for years, so you know you're going to get shot if you're one of those first guys. So it's just crazy to imagine. All right, yeah. So let me back that up so it's over the Unkillable Soldier thing. Yeah, so that is Adrien De Wiart. He like this guy, like I said, he was wounded this many. He actually ended his career in World War II as a general in the British Army. He started with the British Army against the wishes of his parents in the Second Boer War, and then would go all the way to the Second World War, while he was wounded, of course, in the Boer War, but the majority of his wounds was in World War One. And you know, when you have a commander like that, if you really think about it, we think these days, because of the way we fight wars now, are nothing the same. But if you have a commander like that, an officer who's willing to run out by himself and take on an entire enemy, that motivates you to move forward. Now, of course, if you're a single person running out, you have a lesser shot probably to be hit because they need to pinpoint you, whereas when you're doing the wave attacks, it's a very broad front. They could just... But it's, he's one of the most interesting figures of this era because he really was this... He was like a Romanesque Greco figure, this unkillable guy that in the actual Sabaton video, it's hilarious because the band Sabaton are playing the German soldiers and they are consistently shooting him. And every time he comes back, they're getting angry because they're like, why won't this guy just die? But that's really how he was. I listed out the wounds before. And you just got to imagine, if you're one of the men serving under him, that's honestly respectable. You were so inspired by this guy, and he keeps coming back to keep fighting. I just thought this would be since I haven't done a reaction, I thought this would be a great one. But, friends, thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I love doing music with you guys because I love Sabaton. They're such a good band. This is actually one of my favorite songs. Race to the Sea is definitely my favorite, but this is definitely my second favorite. Especially because, much like me, he's also Irish and Belgian. But thank you so much for joining us. If you enjoyed, please subscribe. If you didn't enjoy, subscribe still. Why not? If you're returning to the channel, please like, share, and comment. As always, thank you so much for joining us. We're getting real close to that threshold. We're getting real close to that monetization. Thank you so much, everyone, and we'll see you in the next one.